Welcome to July.
It's a sad day.
Is it? Oh, well, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Our month is over. We're in mourning. I wish we weren't on YouTube because I would say we're both wearing black, but only M got the memo today.
Yeah, I started my funeral early. Really once, and there's a reason for that. June 30th in my family is an unlucky day. So
why? Ooh, I didn't know that. Tell me more.
The family curse. So I don't know. My mom just always told me, oh, June 30th is the bad day. June 30th is the bad day.
Well, the more you say that, the more it probably makes it true, too. Which is great.
I don't know if there were multiple family tragedies on June 30th, but I do know my great grandpa died on June 30th. And I never met him. He died actually when my grandpa was like 10 years old. So I never even had a chance at meeting him. But because of that, my grandpa always hated June 30th, obviously.
Aww.
And so he always just said like, oh, don't ever do anything on June 30th. It's like a cursed day. It's an unlucky day.
And now it's just created this cycle.
It's spread throughout the family.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Well, nothing to me has ever happened on June 30th, but
knock on fucking wood. Hello, we're not there yet.
I do celebrate though, because apparently it's a family tradition.
This comes out. This is scheduled to come out the day after. So can you imagine like we're like ha ha ha, and this comes out and everyone's like, oh no.
Ooh, actually, yeah, that does terrify me.
If something happened to us yesterday, folks, don't blame us. It was June 30th, so I don't know. If
it just happens.
If we get canceled, it's just because it's an unlucky day.
You know what I like to think too? I know it's not technically like Gemini season's over. I know or is it? No, It is over already. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, June 30th for some other reasons got some bad stuff to it, and my mom actually like had to sit with herself on it because she ended up getting married to my stepdad on June 30th.
Oh, that's right. I did know that. I was going to say, I feel like I've heard this kind of fun fact about you, but it's because you told me about their wedding. And I was like, what a mysterious choice she's made to get married on her unlucky day.
The family was like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? How bad could it go? Could he leave you?
They're still together.
They're still together. Actually,
the wedding was fun and great.
Not marriage, but dating. I think this is 10 years for them. So
congrats. This is blazing my 10-year as well.
Oh,
this
wow.
month,
you and my mom have something special in common.
That's right. But I'm not going to reach out to her on June 30th to wish her. I just don't want to get involved. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah,
I'll reach out the day after just in case.
Which is today. Happy July, everybody.
Oh, we made it. I hope.
Do you have any plans in July you're looking forward to?
We got some Beach Shoe Sandy tours, baby. If you haven't checked it out, come see us, guys. We have a couple East Coast shows coming up this month, and I'm so excited. I think like now that we're recording this, I finally have done a couple of the shows, and it is just like so much freaking fun. And it's like, I don't know, it's just been like really chill and fun.
Well, so I know you've got a DC show right around the time I'm supposed to head home. So
are you gonna go? I'm going to cry. I'm going to pee my pants.
Out of fear?
No, out of excitement.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Then yes. If it was out of fear, then no.
Oh my God. Wait, I'm so happy. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You just made my whole day.
That's bananas. We have such different responses.
I know that.
If you told me you were coming to anything, I'd be like, oh my God, I think I'm just going to have to cancel the whole show.
That's very, very mighty kind, as my mother would say.
Well, I was looking at the dates and I couldn't swing any of them. And then I felt really bad, but I saw a DC one and I planned on going to the East Coast anyway, so I'm just gonna use your show as.
Think about it.
I'm just gonna use it as a reason to go.
Oh my God, I'm so thrilled! Like you have no idea. Oh, you just made my whole July. Okay, so that makes me happy. Yay.
Oh, good. Happy July. I hope that July goes very well for you.
You as well, Em. Are you gonna just be chilling, maxing, relaxing?
Technically, I will be put in the same space I'll be, not traveling as much.
Right.
So yes, but it's like a very busy month for me. I have my anniversary. I've got a friend coming into town. Or no, when this comes out, a friend's already come into town. And then I have another friend coming into town. And then I'm going home because
to see family and friends, right?
See family and friends. So
and me.
So I'm only traveling once, but it's like the long haul cross country thing. So
yeah, that's a bit, and it's a big trip. It's not like a weekend. Like you're gonna be gone for a few weeks, right?
Really indefinitely. I still don't know when I'll be coming back, but I will be recording from
the homestead,
the whole homestead. So anyway, okay. Well, I hope everyone else has a happy July. If
I need
you
you to understand, like I'm like can't stop smiling. I'm so happy right now.
I am so happy.
You've just made me so happy.
You're giving me an ego boost by being so happy that I'll be near you. I'm
so excited.
No one's ever been so excited for me to be in a room with them. That's very
and it's
lovely.
the same venue that you and I did like years ago when Linda took a limo to the show.
Oh, I could do,
we could do a repeat.
I could carry that tradition if you'd like.
I was just telling my brother because I was like, our DC show I think it's DC Improv. Linda, we were in the green room. We knew Linda was coming. We didn't know the extent of her travel accommodations, aka the limo filled with booze and all her friends. But so we were in the green room, and the security guy opened the door and was like, "Listen, I'm so sorry to bother you, but there's a group of people who just came in holding solo cups, and we don't allow outside alcohol. Is there a way you want me to handle this?" And Em goes, like, looks at me and Eva and goes, "I'll handle this. Sir, I think that's my mother. That sounds pretty much on brand for something she would do. So if you could just tell her to please get the solo cups out of here, she can buy her own drinks." And he was like, "Oh, it's your family. Do you need us to make an exception?" You were like, "Nope. Just tell her to get those solo cups out of here."
What a nice version of that story, because I remember crying backstage. But
I know it was very, very stressful, overwhelming for you. So
I will say that was the show where Deirdre was our security in a juicy velour jumpsuit.
That's right.
So if you need me to bring pregnant
cool
Deirdre,
mom. Yeah, pregnant cool mom Deirdre, come on.
This time she is a cool mom. So
those hormones, yes, she is literally, and those hormones will be on our side, just like defending us.
Yeah. So if you need me to bring additional security, I can do that.
Please bring her if she wants to come only, of course. But
I can also bring open containers of alcohol and then tell them I'm with the talent, so they have to let me do it.
And then I can pretend I don't know you. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, it'll be just like last time.
Just like old days.
So anyway, I hope everyone has less chaotic of a July as we do. I hope you're getting some good R&R.
Just rest it up.
Just chillaxing, guys. And other than that, just to kick it off for you, we have some good stories. So
yes, and Eva said Em goes first this time, which is exciting.
I don't think I've gone first for a while. Maybe
it's been a while.
Maybe it's been literally since the last time we did this.
It might be 2 months, but it feels like it's been a while. And so you go. Sorry, my microphone keeps falling, and I feel like every time I move, it makes like a fart.
Keep on falling.
Oh, my microphone can sing beautifully, by the way. Sorry, it keeps falling, and it makes like a farting sound when I fix it. So I apologize.
That's me.
Oh, yeah, that's throw you under the bus. Anyway, so you go first, and Eva said it's like a summer smorgasbord, which is delightful.
What a way to describe it. Yeah. I wish I had a summer smorgasbord right in front of me, too.
Yeah, I as well.
Okay. So I already love it because we have a double pronoun writing in today.
Hey.
This is Nikki, who uses she, they pronouns. Thank you for normalizing pronouns. And Nikki's title to the email is Psychic Dream University of Toronto Love Story.
What?
Wow.
All those words are overwhelming to me.
I know. Well, so I did just cover the ghosts of University of Toronto, so I wonder if that has anything to do with this.
Yes. Could be.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Longtime listener and second-time writer. I heard M's story about the ghosts of UT and realized that I also have a paranormal psychic story about the school. This is a bit of a long one and requires some context, though, so hopefully it's worth it. About 9 years ago, when I was 17, I started a minimum wage summer job as a ride attendant at a Cedar Fair-owned amusement park called Canada's Wonderland. Wow, I wish I was there.
Oh my. Haven't we read? Oh, I think maybe Zandy and I have read reviews of that place. It sounds
Did you?
Really I think so. It sounds really familiar.
How were the reviews? Because I sure want to go.
I think it was a review where a guy like lost his kid, and then I don't. It was not sad. It was like funny. Like it's hard to explain, but he was just very angry. But I'm sure that wouldn't happen to you. So don't worry. You can probably have a great time.
As long as I'm not like with Leona, I think I certainly can avoid the losing a kid. I started a minimum wage summer job at Canada's Wonderland, about an hour and a half north of Toronto. There I worked at as a roller coaster. I can't read today. I'm so sorry.
I worked as a roller coaster. Good. Congratulations.
I have 2 pronouns and I identify as a roller coaster. I'm kidding.
Listen.
I'm kidding.
What's next? People are going to start identifying as roller coasters? Is that what we want in society?
Oh, now that it's July 1st, I do guess Pride Month is over, so I don't get to make the same jokes.
Yeah, we get to just mock everyone relentlessly.
I know. Now everyone's back to mocking me. There I worked at a roller coaster called Vortex and met one of my coworkers, Beatrice. She was a year older, way cooler than me, and a million times better at her job than I was. And within a couple weeks, I had the biggest crush on her.
Ooh la la.
For the rest of the summer, we spent a lot of time and got pretty close. But I was very aware of the fact that I could never confess my feelings because she didn't reciprocate, and we were both going our separate ways in the fall for school. I was going to a school in Toronto called Ryerson University, and she was going to move back to her dorm on the other side of the country at the University of BC.
No.
I really, there is something to be said about a summer love. And I think an amusement park summer love.
Loving. Sorry, my microphone's singing again. Me a blast. I'm a roller coaster.
She really said, it's singing time. She said, I'm the karaoke girl here.
I'm so sorry.
There is something about a summer love, especially the theme of an amusement park summer love just feels so perfect.
It does. It feels timeless almost. Like it could go all the way back to like Coney Island.
Yeah.
But like still works today. It's beautiful.
But after some heartfelt goodbyes and several months into the school year, I had this dream. I was never one to believe in ghosts, the paranormal, psychics, etc. But one night I dreamt that I went over to UT, which is about 20 minutes away, and was sitting in a lecture hall, room 252, and saw Beatrice 2 rows down from me. I had never been to UT before, definitely hadn't snuck into a lecture hall before, and didn't even know if a room 252 ever existed, but I felt some sort of psychic pull to it. So in the morning, I blew off my lecture and snuck into the university with a friend of mine. We discovered that room 252 did in fact exist, and it looked just like it did in my dream. We sat at the back of the lecture hall as to not draw any attention to ourselves, and 2 rows down, there she was.
No.
I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me or something, but it turned out that Beatrice had transferred schools partway through the semester because she wanted to be closer to home. She saw me, and I used being a photography major as an excuse to ask her to model some pictures.
Oh, you are smooth all of a sudden.
That's what the kids are calling the Riz, I think.
Oh my.
And the rest was history. I asked her to marry me at the roller coaster we worked
Shut
at.
the fuck up. Are you serious right now?
And we're planning on getting married in the fall. And I told her about the dream about a year ago, and about a year into our relationship, and even her sciencey engineer brain can't explain it, but we're both glad I skipped my lecture that day and glad she went to hers.
Was she wondering, though, like, why you were at a University of Toronto lecture hall? Like, since you weren't a student there?
Probably. It sounds like Nikki is cool with a little white lie.
Can just kind of be like, oh no, this is for my photography project. Did I mention I'm a photographer? I am seeking a model. Yeah.
By the way, here's my camera right now, and we should take some pictures, but also not on campus because I don't actually go here.
And right, I'm actually being escorted off the property. And also, I forget. Oh, right. She was saying that that she's a engineering, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're like, I'm a photography major in this engineering lecture for, I promise I have a good reason.
It's like of all the classes to like slip
right,
into,
to accidentally be.
There's very little overlap there for you.
That's what I thought.
Huh. Well, thank you, Nikki, for that story.
What a mystery.
Do you have any stories like that where you have a pull like to something and you don't know why, but it ends up leading into something great?
Like a pull, like to a physical place?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. Do you? Well, I think
I do.
Oh, what is it?
And what's interesting is I also remember the room number because it was, so theirs was hers was 252. Mine was 257.
No, it wasn't.
Isn't that the craziest?
What do you mean? What is it?
It was the first day of college, and I had some sort of feeling where I was looking at I couldn't tell if I was in the right class or not. Or no, it wasn't even class. It was orientation, where like you had to go somewhere for, they were just going to teach you about, like, you got into college and now this is what you're going to learn when you get here. And I was supposed to go into a different room. And they assigned me a different, like, they broke us up into chunks so enough of us would be in the same room. And if anyone's from CNU, it was McMurrin 257. But I wasn't supposed to be in that room. I was supposed to be in a different chunk of people. But I remember looking at that room, and I remember seeing 257, and even remembering in that moment, remember the number to this room, because this room is going to be what changes your life. And I was like, what?
F?
And I remember feeling like I had just such a weird gut feeling about it. And I knew somehow it was going to be like the long game. Like I was going to meet someone there who was going to kind of just take me on the right course. And I ended up sitting next to my very first girlfriend. And because just the way that the butterfly effect works, it's not like she changed my life. Sorry if you're listening. You do not totally, in a nice way, there's more to it on top of that. But by being with her, butterfly effect led me to my next girlfriend, which led me to my next girlfriend, which led me to moving to Los Angeles, which led me to meeting you, by the way, which led to this.
Yeah, well, I thought, oh, okay, I see, yeah.
So and I know that could just be like, yeah, that's how just the course of time goes. But I remember just thinking like I know if I hadn't met her,
yeah,
absolutely things would have not gone the way that they did.
Right.
There's just the only way everything else would have happened is if like I had the canon event of like meeting that one person, and I wouldn't have if I didn't go into that room.
Wow.
And I know it's kind of like hippy dippy, and a million people, probably Nikki's partner who's in engineering, could be like, that's so stupid. But I remember,
but also they did get married. So if you had married that person, it would be a better story, because you could be like, and then I met my future partner, my future spouse.
That's true. But it was just, I remember thinking like, this is going to put me on the trajectory I'm supposed to be on.
I love that. I always listen to that feeling.
Yeah. It was just even if it didn't lead to anything, I would still remember, wow, that was a weird thing to think about. I have to remember this room.
I love that the room was so close to this one too. That's weird.
What about you? Do you ever have any gut feeling where it ended up working out?
Yeah, I often have gut feelings. I actually I feel like I regularly, if I have like two options, I just try to go with my gut every time. And I feel very content and happy with where life is. So I like to think that all those little gut feelings kind of bring you in the right direction.
I also think, you know what I like about us too is that we've always had the same gut feelings about our own stuff, and it's always been right.
And we trust each other's, which I love. Like if one of us says like, I have a feeling about this, we just say, okay.
Yeah.
We are on the same page then. Which
there are times we've gone, well then that's what we're doing, or okay, I'll stay the fuck away from
Canceled.
that too.
Right, exactly. Like we have had moments where even I was like so embarrassed, but I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to this place that we're supposed to go to. I have like just a bad feeling. And then Eva chimed in and said, I also don't have a good feel. So it was kind of, it happens, even in times where it's inconvenient. But
I think there's something really special about having gut feelings that you can trust, but then to meet someone else whose gut feelings are aligned with yours is crazy, because
that's so true.
I never have to explain anything to you, which is one of my favorite things about our friendship is like, we just, our gut feelings ride or die with each other.
That's so true. I don't think about that enough, but yeah, that's huge. And I think that's served us pretty well. So
yeah. Well, thank you, Nikki, for your story and the tangents that ensued.
Sorry we made it about ourselves as usual.
Well.
How sorry are we? I said sorry. What am I, Canadian? How sorry are we really? I'm a roller coaster. What can I say? So this is, oh boy, sorry. This is from Diego, he, him. and it's called Aliens in the South. Oh, I'm excited.
Ooh. Oh, that's why Eva wanted me to read the other story.
Well, first you got Canada, right? And
yeah,
now we
that's
got
a good point.
Aliens. Okay, hello, y'all. I just wanted to start off by saying that I love you both. You guys make the days go by faster, and I always look forward to your episodes. I work in IT, and when it's slow, I love listening to you both while I'm at the desk. Anyway, enough about you guys. Now it's my story.
Diego knew we would talk forever before we got to his story.
He's like, he probably had a gut feeling his was next, and we were just delaying it.
Yeah.
He does say, just kidding, so we'll forgive you. I live in Texas around the southern point, and at the time I lived with my parents in their farmhouse. We lived on about 7 acres of land and were located somewhat on the outskirts of the city. Not in the middle of nowhere, but kind of in the quiet part of the town. It was giving very much Little House on the Prairie.
Ooh.
Like, there is a Walmart and HEB around the street, but we lived behind all that, if that makes sense. So you get, like, best of both worlds. Like, Little House on the Prairie, but like, oh shit, I need 45 eggs. Oh, well, Walmart's right down the street. Perfect.
That's perfect.
Moving on. My boyfriend would come over pretty much every day and would leave around 12 a.m. each night to head back to his house since we both had college classes the next day. One night in 2020, just like every night, he said his goodbyes and took off from my driveway and started his drive back to his house. No more than 5 minutes later, he called me in a panic, saying that there was what appeared to be a UFO hovering above the street he was driving on. What the F? I love how he's like, I'm going to call my boyfriend. Yeah. I feel like I would call, like, the National Guard.
Call?
I don't know. 911. I have no idea.
The Air Force.
Actually, I'd probably call you or Blaze. Like, so I guess that's a fair point. Like, I think in a panic, I would just call you or Blaze.
Yeah.
Or maybe my mom. I don't know. I think in fear, I just usually call my mom.
Or at least in an alien situation, I feel like you only want to call someone who's going to believe you. Because if you call anyone with any authority, I feel like they'd just be like, no, you didn't. Click.
Exactly. Like, what are they going to do, really? Yeah. And then the Men in Black are going to show up at your house. Like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, it's too messy.
Too messy. Exactly. To give a little backstory, we are both entertained by the idea of the paranormal and cryptids, but we understand that most of these tales are just lore. But nonetheless, we like to keep a positive mindset while also being somewhat realistic. That being said, when he called saying there was a UFO hovering in the sky, it took me a minute to make sense of what he was saying. As we were on the phone, he then proceeded to FaceTime me to show me what he was seeing, while also saying that I needed to step outside since it was close to my house. I'd be like, fuck no. You record it for me and I'll watch it later.
Their gut feelings are not aligned. I don't know.
That's so true. That's so true. As I step outside, or maybe they are, because it sounds like he was fucking thrilled to walk outside underneath the UFO. As I step outside, I look out into the sky, and in the distance, sure enough, is this huge triangle-shaped craft with some lights slowly hovering away. That's fucking terrifying. From my point of view, it was slowly hovering away from my house, but from my boyfriend's point of view, it was just slowly flying down the street. It was not super high in the sky either, just about 4 telephone poles high. As we FaceTime, you can see the craft slowly over this busy street, having its flashing lights just flickering. I hope somebody screen recorded this. You guys got to screen record it. Cars on the same road as my boyfriend started to pull over. I love that validation. And start to record this craft as it's just hovering, taking its time to fly in one direction. The weird part, I just got goose cam. The weird part was that there was no noise coming from the craft, just total silence.
That seems to be how it goes, and I hate it every time.
I've heard that, and it's so unsettling.
Like, defies our planet's whatever, whatever
physics or.
Yeah, it's doing something where their technology is stealth mode every time.
It's so creepy, especially when the thing is like right over you.
Yeah. Like we can't get through a recording without an airplane flying over us, but these people can just do it. It's so quiet.
Like fly a football field above someone's house and make no noise. We thought maybe a drone or some type of military aircraft, but where we live, it would make no sense to have either of those objects in the air. Like, why would there be military aircraft in a neighborhood? As my boyfriend and other onlookers are stunned to see this huge craft fly in the air without any warning, it just stops and then starts to hover faster away now in an upward direction into the sky. I've heard that too, that it just stops and like shoots off.
Yeah, and that's I'm not saying anything that we don't know right now, but there's something about, like, again, defying physics where like you don't even need a launch off. You just
like the Tic Tac where it just kind of like went in directions that like physically we're not able to manufacture. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No more than a few minutes later, it went into the dark skies without a trace. It was super weird. Until this day, we still talk about it. Oh wait, does that mean you're still together? Aw.
Oh.
My boyfriend got the firsthand experience and still mentions how quiet it was, even though it was so close to the ground. He also mentioned how in a weird way he could feel as if there were things watching from the craft. I feel like for every way that they're able to cloak themselves, there's always the sense that they can see you. Like,
I feel the same way,
right?
and it feels like that has to be intentional.
I guess that's true. If it's intentional, that makes more sense.
Like I can't sense your plane. I can't hear it, but I can feel your stupid eyes,
your dumb little eyes watching me.
Yeah, that's like a threat a tactic.
Yeah,
of I could cloak everything if I wanted to, but you're gonna know that I'm.
But I can
of
see you. Yeah.
He
also mentioned how in a weird way he could feel as if there were things watching from the craft, almost like watching from above. If you are interested, I do have a video of the craft. Come on, where is it?
Why did we start with that?
Is it not attached here? Okay, Eva, is it attached? I'm going to scream.
If you're interested. Yeah, we are. Are you? Yes.
I do have a video of the craft. Since I knew no one would believe what we saw, I began to screen record the FaceTime call.
Excellent.
Oh, come on. I knew it. Yeah, listen, I knew Diego and I had the same feelings about this. Okay. I'm so glad you were smart enough to screen record. So I began to screen record the FaceTime call as proof. I hope you both end up reading this, and shout out to Eva, who, by the way, is now harassing you for that video.
Yeah, probably so, yeah.
Yes, goodbye.
Man, okay, well, Diego, I am glad to not be you. Let's be clear.
I'm glad to know you and not be you. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it secondhand. But I do hope you're okay, and I hope you haven't felt anything staring at you. I would be so paranoid. You know what's wild? Because a lot of times at night, not so much these days, I think I'm in like a less active place than the one I grew up in. But so many times in my life, I grew up with that ghost in my room, feeling like something was staring at me, like its face, like our noses were touching.
Yeah.
The second I see a UFO, that I never think about a ghost again. If I feel like something's staring at me, I'm always paranoid. It's the craft coming back.
Yeah, great point. Like they're watching, especially if it already gave you that feeling when you just saw the craft. Like I feel like any time from then on, you'd just assume they were back.
And even if you were just like having like a day of anxiety and you're like, I feel like someone's looking at me, I would just now officially always
It's like every time you get that kind of hair on the back of your neck, like that tingle, you'd be like, oh no, are they coming back for me? I would live the rest of my life paranoid. Yeah.
It's one
of
those
Diego,
things...
I didn't mean to make you feel that way, but I guess maybe if it were more like a one-on-one experience with an alien, I would be convinced.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think you don't realize how insidious the trauma's about to be, and then
until Em and Christine explain it to you, Diego, and then you're like, wait a second.
I hope up until this moment you didn't have that kind of fear.
Me too.
I also hope we didn't just give you
instill it in you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for your story. The next one is from Nolan. He, him. This is the first time I think we've ever had two he, hims in a row.
You're probably right, Em. That's a great point.
Our demographics are not usually geared towards
shifting
the he, hims.
Yeah.
So this is very vague. Just says wicked cryptid.
Ooh, and Boston?
I don't know. It sounds like Kentucky's coming up or Ohio.
Okay. All right.
Your neck of the woods. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you. I have a story that is not my personal account, but one that has been told by my family my entire life, including my uncle, grandma, and great aunt I never met. My uncle knew I loved animals and cryptids even as a child, so he would frequently retell his experience whenever I asked, and this is what he would say. Our family hails from Kentucky and southeastern Ohio.
Southeastern Ohio. Yeah.
Way out in the sticks, allegedly.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't think I've ever been to that part of the state because it's like so random and out there.
That's like how there's Virginia and West Virginia, but Western Virginia
is a different thing, right?
And nobody knows what's going on over there. It's the real skinny
like
part.
Kind of it's like just out there. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just like, whoever that is, you're basically your own state.
Hope you're having fun over there.
Yeah. Our family hails from Kentucky and southeastern Ohio. And in the 1960s, my uncle and grandma went to visit an aunt that lived in southeastern Ohio, deep in the woods in a bermed house, a house that was built into the side of a hill. I didn't know that was called a burned house.
I didn't either.
My uncle was young at the time, around 10 years old, and decided to go hunting for squirrels to eat for dinner. So that
Yum, that's very
lets you know,
Kentucky.
lets you know where they are. He had been gone for several hours and decided to stop for a drink from a small creek in a hollow. Wow, it just keeps getting more
I'm
southern.
sorry, a holler? Is that what we're saying? I feel like we might as well lean into it. Down by the holler.
Well, it says in a hollow, a.k.a. a small valley, a.k.a. a holler.
Okay, there we go. Okay, see? He's on it.
So Kentucky's rubbing off on Christine, is what I just learned.
Clearly.
After taking a drink and resting for several minutes, he heard a noise from across the creek that drew his attention.
Oh, no.
As he looked toward the noise, he saw a huge black form.
Uh-oh.
He described it as being massive, covered in thick black hair, standing on 2 legs and long arms. The thing my uncle would always emphasize is how massive the chest was, at least 4 or 5 feet wide.
What the fuck?
My uncle never did estimate how tall the beastie, I almost said bestie.
His new bestie.
My uncle never did estimate how tall the beastie was because before he could get a look at the creature's face, my uncle bolted back towards the house hoping to find safety. My uncle did not look back and he did not hear any footfalls behind him, and unfortunately, the story does not end there.
Oh, unfortunately for him, fortunately for us, there's more.
That's the one, yeah. Later that night, after the sun went down, my uncle, grandma, and great aunt had eaten dinner. I assume no barbecue squirrel.
Yum.
And we settled in for the night. Everyone was abruptly awoken to the sound of something repeatedly slamming into the side of their house.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And your first thought is it's an intruder.
Yeah, I mean, mine would be, yeah, for sure.
Into the side of the house, and then the roof. So something's now on the roof. And then the front door all at the same time.
Wait, what? How
Side
long
of
is
the
this thing's
house.
arms? It's
Yeah,
like
right.
The berm.
The chest being at least 4 to 5 feet wide. That's a very small guess. It's actually a gorilla, like a big old gorilla, Godzilla, King Kong. But yeah, so the side of the house, the roof, and the door are all getting slammed into all at the same time. That is now like poltergeisty.
It does feel, yeah.
Then began the howls and screams and growling that were coming from every direction. Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, so there's like a group of them, presumably.
Or, I don't know, maybe it's one of those like mountain cryptids where it's just like, it just screams and you don't know what direction it's coming from.
Yeah, the confusion. Yeah.
The situation continued to intensify, which inspired that my great aunt grabbed the double barrel shotgun and sat in a rocking chair facing the front door, just waiting for whatever may come. So scary, but so badass of your grandma.
Also so Kentucky.
Or,
just like,
or
I'll
great
just
aunt.
sit here and wait with my shotgun.
That you come to me.
Yeah.
At some point in the night, the activity died away and things became calm again. When my family exited the house the next morning, there was damage to the house and various things on the property, but worst of all, several of the, I'm so sorry, barn cats and dogs were dead and mutilated around the property.
Oh no. Oh no.
So whatever it was,
Jesus.
certainly doesn't sound human.
No, and it doesn't sound very nice.
No. So like if you didn't have the house protecting you or your great aunt with a shotgun at the door.
Yeah.
If it were doing that to small animals, I don't.
Oh, that's horrific.
A lovely family story to pass on to child me, right? My grandma would refuse to tell me the story except to say that it was one of the scariest moments of her life, and my uncle will always retell this consistent story to me. Wow. So I leave it up to you to make your own decision, but if you ask me, I think Bigfoot is real. I'd think twice before saying no, and I appreciate you all for everything you do and wish you many blessings, and don't fuck with Bigfoot's pet squirrels.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. It's one of those moments where like, you can talk about cryptids all day long and be like, oh, maybe they're real, maybe they're not. But like something did damage to all sides of your house and killed the barn animals. Like that's crazy. That
on the same day that you saw it.
Yeah. Which also means to me that it's somewhat like intelligent that it followed you back.
Yeah, it must know how to find you. But how come it didn't just break down the door if it can like mutilate a dog? You know what I mean?
Why didn't it just like flick a window and bust through?
Right? I wonder if maybe it was just trying to scare them or
I mean, if it really didn't want you to mess with squirrels, which I don't know if that's the whole reason, but maybe it was like, well, then I'll mess with your
With
animals.
your pets?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
That's an uncomfortable story, especially being so close to me. I feel like I always think of Bigfoot as being up in the Pacific Northwest or like way out, but that's only a couple hours from me. I don't love it.
Ugh. The plot twist is like maybe your uncle or great aunt, they were like, they owed money to some big people and it was just actually a group of people, but they were like, no, it was Bigfoot. Oh.
It was Bigfoot. You remember you saw that furry thing by the creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. You were 10.
No, I don't know what it is, but all I know is that's creepy and I don't envy that experience. That
Agreed.
Sounds really, really horrid.
Okay, so the next one I have is from A, she, her. And the subject is my dead patient follows me home.
Bye.
Bye, indeed. And a government conspiracy. Oh my God.
Oh,
what
okay.
a twist. Okay. Hi, I'm Christine Eva Gio, all petrified fruits and creepy cryptid connoisseurs. I am a 23-year-old nurse who wishes to go by A. I am team milkshake, although being violently lactose intolerant. Smiley face.
Been there.
Yeah, you have. I absolutely love your podcast, and it's gotten me through lots of long night shifts in the hospital. I always feel that I've got great company when listening to y'all. I've been debating on writing this in for a while, but I thought maybe writing out what happened would help me process these situations I'm about to tell you. I have 2 stories, and the first one is a long one, so I apologize in advance. Let's crack into it. For context, I've always had a connection to the spiritual realm my whole life. My mom has the gift of being able to hear and see spirits, and I can hear and feel spirits, occasionally being able to see them. A few months ago, I was taking care of a patient in their last days of life. I had taken care of the patient the day before, and they had been expected to pass on the next shift. So I was surprised to come in the next day and see they were still there when I got into the unit. At the start of my shift, I stepped into the patient's room to tell the family I was there for them if they needed, and upon my initial assessment of the room, the spiritual vibe of the family was very uncomfortable. And the spiritual vibe of the patient felt really heavy with anger and resentment. Oh no.
Ew. Oh, I don't like that.
I had been in the room for maybe 10 seconds before I noticed the red flashing on his heart monitor. The patient's heart had stopped, and they died right then. What the fuck? Their family looked at me with teary eyes and hugged me as they said, "Oh no."
What?
Oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna read it. Their family looked at me with teary eyes and hugged me as they said, "They waited for you. They must have wanted to thank you for all of your care." But immediately I felt extremely uncomfortable. So basically, died 10 seconds upon you walking into the room. And almost felt like they were waiting for you. Oh, no.
Ooh, you know what? I think in a moment of intense grief, maybe you're willing to believe anything.
Yeah, that's fair. Fast forward again to me being home that night and telling my husband about what had happened. My husband is not spiritual at all and told me not to worry. What a man thing to say.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Indeed. Well, that night at about 3 a.m., my husband woke me up, asking me to check under the bed or around our bedroom for one of our cats. We kicked them out at night because they are hellions. He told me that he had felt something run across the bed and then heard something fall off of our dresser. Long story short, there was no cat in the bedroom. I tried to rationalize it and forced myself to drift back into sleep. About 10 minutes later, all of the items, oh my God, on my bedside table and our dresser slowly started falling off onto the floor one by one.
Oh, absolutely. I just would leave the home and never return. Oh my God.
One by one is so bad. It's not like something bumped it and they all fell. It's like intentionally.
Loving the theatrics of it.
It's so dramatic.
If you're gonna be a ghost, you're like, we're not doing this without a little razzle dazzle. So
I want to stretch this out as long as possible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. I squeezed my eyes shut and flinched at hearing every item slowly hit the floor. I opened my eyes cautiously and directed my gaze to the corner of the room. A black, misty figure that was about 8 feet tall with freakishly long limbs at its side was staring at me. What the fuck?
Oh my God.
I immediately knew that it was the spirit of my patient who had died that day.
Wow.
This is scaring me. I felt the anger and resentment from the figure, and I had no reaction except to tell the figure that I was so sorry. The figure stayed there for a good 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, on minute 2, I'd be like, I need to do something. I don't know what to do except like,
I would be like, well,
yeah,
if I already said my piece and you're still there, I'd be like, so it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been lovely. I think it's time we head out. I think
What's
we're gonna
that
head
Midwest
to bed.
thing where they always
I'm gonna
joke,
let you go. I don't know,
like where they like slap their laps and are like,
well,
well, I'm out of here. I felt the anger and resentment, and I had no reaction except to tell the figure that I was so sorry. The figure stayed there for a good 4 or 5 minutes, but ended up leaving. I've never had another experience like that, and I hope I never do. And so that's the first story, but like, I'm like, why are they so mad at you? What did you do?
Yeah, I wonder if... I don't know.
Well, maybe because they're spiritually sensitive. Like, maybe because A is spiritually sensitive, the patient had the anger and resentment already, maybe toward their family or toward like unfinished business in life, and like kind of latched onto you, like that latched onto you because you're spiritually like, open, and
it needed someone to recognize it. I mean, I want to know if that thing ever came back, or was it just the one night?
Well, it said that they never had another experience like that. Oh, so yeah.
But again, talk about like some insidious trauma, because every night officially I'd be like, it could happen again.
Every time your hellion cat knocks something over, I'd be like, oh my God.
Especially like people like you and Eva, where you're like, oh, if I ever hear a sound, I can blame it on my cat. It's like now if it's my cat, I'm like, what the hell else is going on?
Exactly. I blame it on the 8-foot shadow figure.
Ugh.
I wonder if it's like his anger and resentment like manifested into a creature like that. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of anger.
Yeah, well,
it's a lot. I don't know. Maybe there was like a family thing, like a family something following the family. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, maybe it was attached to the person, and then when they died, it latched onto you.
Yeah, like it didn't know where else to go, and it just attached to the next vulnerable person.
Ooh, that's spooky to think about. Anyway, whatever
you did to get rid of it, well done, because it sounds like it never came back.
It sounds like you had a very polite conversation, and it was like, well, I guess I gotta go.
I'd be like, I'm loving the energy, but this is just like not gonna work for me.
The timing is not ideal. The theatrics are great, but the rest,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this one's shorter. It says my second story. So my husband is in the U.S. Space Force, parentheses, yes, it's a real thing. For some background, my husband deals with some pretty serious and mysterious things that I don't understand and don't want to understand, quite frankly. So whenever we have serious conversations about things, we turn off all phones and electronics in the house. Ooh, I love this already. You connect the dots there. Anyways, one day while he was at work, I was at home alone making some lunch and listening to, and that's why we drink, because what the hell else would I listen to when I'm home alone and emotionally vulnerable? LOL, in all caps. This particular day, I was listening to the episode on the AAA tip. What was that again? The aeronautical... We just talked about it in a recent episode.
It was I don't remember what it stands for, but I do know they were
the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. There it is.
And they were involved in the Tic Tac.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I was listening to the episode on, is that how do you say it? AATIP? AATIP?
Maybe. I just kept calling it the AATIP, but I'm not on the Space Force.
For some reason I thought you had, you're not. Yeah, for some reason I thought you had a cool name for it, but I was probably imagining that.
ATIP makes sense. Sounds right, but I don't know.
Okay, this particular day I was listening to the episode on the advanced, whatever, protection, you've heard it.
Their thing.
The ATIP. I was about 20 minutes into M explaining it when I started to feel really weird for a couple seconds, but couldn't explain why.
I'm so sorry.
I know, I'm like, I'm glad this is M's fault, not mine. Immediately after I got this feeling, my phone shut completely off, along with all of the other electronics in my house and my electricity turned off.
What? I did that? Wow, my ego.
You're so powerful.
I'm divine. That's terrifying. And I wonder, my immediate thought, which I'm sure is not realistic, my immediate thought is that like your husband like heard and like pressed the
emergency shut off,
the panic button, and was like, shut it down.
My guess is that whoever he works for has ears in all the employees' places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you would think if it was something I was saying that freaked someone in the government out, they would have already reached out to us and been like, that
But
episode
maybe
has to
it's
come
not
down.
that advanced, like they know where it's from. Maybe they're just recording the audio on the phone and then they hear aeronautical whatever protection and alien or something, and it's just like, all right, code red. I don't know. I don't know. So it says even my Apple Watch that was on my wrist had turned off. I don't think I've ever turned off my Apple Watch. Like I don't think I even know how to turn off my Apple Watch. That is bizarre.
Oh, wow.
This is very freaky. Okay, so she says, cue my absolute panic. Everything was dark and silent for about 2 minutes while I stood completely still, only hearing my own panicked breathing in the dark.
In the dark. Oh God.
Fuck me. This is horrible.
I would even wonder if if there's an alien that listens to you and was
just
like
shut down all your equipment. The power and my phone did come back on, but the Spotify app would not open on my phone, as if something or someone was telling me I had heard enough about the AATIP. To this day, I have never gone back to that episode, and I'm not sure I ever will. I'm sure it's an amazing episode. You can just skip to my crime part. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's an amazing episode, but maybe while I have a connection to the Space Force, I'll hold off on listening. I've got lots more paranormal stories all the way from a 3-headed dog. Ooh, I wonder what happens if you listen to this episode.
Oh.
Because it has like it doesn't have your name, but it has like the words like government, aeronautical, whatever the hell. Maybe it'll happen again. She's like, no, I don't want that.
That's a good experiment, though. Maybe listen to it like somewhere other than your own home or from a different phone.
Great point. Yeah. Let's see. I've got lots more paranormal stories, all the way from a 3-headed dog in my bedroom to a psychic stranger telling me about my future firstborn's life expectancy. I don't like that.
I am curious, but I don't like it.
I don't like it, but tell me all about it.
Yeah.
And then wrote, but that's a story for another time.
It always is.
Aw, thanks, A.
Thanks, A, and also sorry that apparently...
That's rough. That's scary, M.
I really wish I had some explanation, or like maybe it was during like a phone-wide reset or something. I don't know, but that's crazy.
Yeah. Can I ask for a story request, like a theme request?
Yeah.
Can you guys email us in, and I'm sure some of you already have, stories that have happened while listening to the show? And I don't mean that in like a narcissistic way, but just like I'm so curious about like whether it's like conspiracy-y, like government-y, or like ghosty, like you're listening to PTD episode. Peggy.
That's a great suggestion.
Sorry, I said her name. I wanted to say in case somebody forgot, but I don't know, just in case anybody's had something weird happen, I would love to hear about it while they're listening to the show.
That's great. I have an aunt and uncle who were in the Navy, and they were in some like high classified something, and I guess like I wonder if they've also had the same thing where like maybe there's always a recording going on in their house or something. Because I do know that like they couldn't say certain things, or he couldn't say certain things to his wife. The wife couldn't say certain things to him. So I wonder if there was like any actual monitoring,
like
about
some
that.
Surveillance as part of the job description. Yeah.
There
must be, because otherwise shit would just get leaked so much more often, I feel like.
Yeah. Woo. You know, it'd be a fun episode, which we can't actually do. I guess we technically could, is if you and I were the anonymous writers and we just wrote our own experiences that we can't talk about on the show. And we just, you know what I mean?
Oh.
And no one would ever know that it was actually us reacting to our own stories.
So what if one day we did that, but we won't say what month it is, and we completely make up like names and pronouns for all the people and write our own stories down? But we
and then I'd be
which.
Like, oh, this one's a double pronoun. We love a double pronoun.
Oh, wow. What a special listener.
Okay, let's this is actually, our next one is from a baby, which I'm excited about.
Aww.
Named Joan. And Joan's story says, I won't look out the window.
Forget it. I mean, I won't either, but I don't even have a good reason to, which I'm sure you do. As
of today, I'm never looking out a window again. So, first First off, yes, this is a pseudonym because I know people who listen to this and they can't know me.
Is this your story? Did you already insert your own story into this episode?
Maybe that's why I just pitched this to so no one would suspect that this one's me. So I've grown up with lots of paranormal experiences, and one of the biggest things that followed me, literally, was my instinctual fear of looking out the window at night.
Oh, no.
It started due to an old family story, but came true when I had an experience as a kid. My window faced expansive woods across the road, and it was well known we saw and heard owls and planes from the local airport and military post. But when I started seeing the weird light thing darting through the trees, I knew it was different.
Oh, no.
Huh. Note, this was in the early 2000s and there were no drones. What was worse was when I turned around and went back to cleaning my room, I got the feeling of being watched.
Oh, no.
This feeling stayed with me until I went across the house to where we kept my family's rosary and I was out of sight of the woods. Fast forward to last year, I'm happily married and living in the same region, but in town now. So not worried about seeing spooky nature shit just as much, just normal ghosts and shit now. I got up with my partner to make them lunch and noticed one of the streetlights shining brightly through my front door window.
Oh, no.
At first, I thought nothing of it. Honestly, thought the town had maybe finally replaced the bulbs or something. But noticed the longer I was in the kitchen, the brighter it seemed to get, and the heavier feeling I got too. When my partner got ready to leave, I asked if they noticed it, and they said the streetlight was as dim as normal and asked if I was okay.
Oh, jeez.
When I looked at them, it was dim. The moment they left, though, it was back.
Oh, okay, so they did see it normally, but then the second pair of eyes wasn't there.
Again, it's like it's intelligent of knowing that it has to hide from other people.
Trick people.
Normally I go back to bed or at least meditate, but that morning I had this feeling that I needed to turn off all the lights in my house and stay awake.
What the fuck?
Ooh. And that if I fell asleep, something would happen. Oh, sorry, turn on all the lights and stay awake. I was why would you sit in the dark?
That is very spooky. Okay.
I felt the need to turn on all the lights and stay awake, and that if I fell asleep, something would happen.
Oh, no.
I don't know what, just something bad. I followed my instincts because I have learned they are typically right, and it was the weirdest feeling when I sat in bed with every light on, feeling like the air was buzzing around me and weighed too heavy to be normal, trying to make me sleep. Ew, trying to make me sleep.
Ew, so trying to waiting for you to fall asleep. Ugh, that's horrible.
I was almost late to work that morning because I refused to even step foot near my door until it was fully light out, and I have not felt it since. At least that.
I mean, yeah, let's hope that stays that way.
Ooh, oh my god, that's just so to know that the air is staticky and
ooh, it gives me
heavy
shivers.
And they're almost trying to sedate you to get you to fall asleep and you feel like you're being stared at.
And what is it like if you do fall asleep, then what? You know?
It's like and the light playing tricks. Ooh, god, I hate that. Also, they ended it by saying they just tried Cheesecake Factory and they see why we love it so much.
It's fucking good, isn't it? It's fucking good.
It's pretty darn tasty.
Darn good.
But wow, thank you for that. And I can see why you also want to use a different name because maybe you feel like they can hear you now too. I mean, if they can see you, that's not a wild fear to have.
Yeah, it's not a stretch, I guess. Okay, well, this is a scary episode that Eva planned.
Yeah, I think, and then also conveniently, Eva had to go because she had plans, so she's not even here to. She's not even listening on the other side anymore.
She just pieced out a minute ago, which we probably shouldn't even say out loud because now I feel like whoever's listening is like, okay, let's roll.
Now we can say all we've ever wanted to about her, and she'll never know.
Except when she listens to the episode.
Oh yeah, she did an excellent job of picking scary things and then gotta go, bye.
Yeah, oops. Okay, so this is our last one, I believe. This is from Jalay, she, her. It says, "Hi, I'm Christine, Eva, and all spooky and citrus friends." Oh, and the subject is, "I grew up at Massey College at U of T."
Oh, wow. So two UT people are stories. Huh.
My name is Jalay, and I loved hearing Em talk about U of T in the most recent episode. When I was born, my mom was a junior fellow at Massey College and stayed to do her PhD there. Massey is just as fun and weird as it sounds, with some really impressive academics in regular attendances. I've heard Nobel Prize winners, well-known authors, and even former Bletchley Circle members. What's a Bletchley Circle member?
We're about to find out because I got Google right here.
I got really embarrassed. I was like, even Bletchley Circle?
How do you spell Bletchley?
Bletch. Bletch. Okay. Oh, it's a show.
The Bletchley Circle. Oh, yeah, it is a show.
Oh, it looks good.
Oh, remember I said a bunch of shows filmed there?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's what they're talking about.
It's a show set in 1952. I love a good period piece. Okay, I'm going to watch this later. And even former Bletchley Circle members speak at events there. As a kid, the former Masters kids would babysit me while my parents went to the events held there. Wait, I just had a thought. What if Bletchley Circle was a thing before the show? And now we're like, oh, it's actors from the TV show. And they're like...
I think that's what it is, probably.
Oh, sorry, that was so loud. Susan Gray, Millie, Lucy, and Jean worked together at Bletchley Park to decipher German military codes for the British military during World War II.
Oh, and this is this is real.
No, it's not. That's the plot of the TV show.
What a headspin I'm having right now.
I'm so sorry. It said this is what Bletchley Circle is, but that's also the TV show. But I think it's a real thing. Oh, it is a real thing. War history. I'll go to warhistoryonline.com. World War II's female code breakers in Bletchley Park. Okay, so it is a real thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You just spun us out, friend.
Yeah.
Thanks,
we had
Jalay.
no reference. We had no understanding.
So sorry we're so ignorant. It is my fault. As a kid, the former Masters kids would babysit me while my parents went to the events held there, but I was always allowed to go to Gaudy Night every year. Remember Naughty Gaudy Night?
Who could forget Naughty Gaudy Night? We still have to have a Christmas party about it.
I can't wait.
Maybe we should go to Canada come Christmas, go to the Naughty Gaudy Night. I don't know.
Yeah, and talk about Bletchley Circle since we know so much about it.
We have a lot of time to learn about it.
That's true. As a kid, the former Masters kids would babysit me while my parents went to events held there, but I was always allowed to go to Gaudy Night every year and still go with Mom whenever they offer extra tickets to alum and their guests. Gaudy Night is pretty much as you described it, a festive holiday dinner and ghost story night. I mean, it's a dream.
Come on.
The former and current masters, now their role has been retitled as principal, still have us all gather around to hear new ghost stories each year. Usually they're pretty silly ones, but some are downright bone-chilling. One of my favorites was one about a ghost dog that is seen in the quad every so often and used to be mistaken for the former master's family dog. Yes, I've also heard about sightings of Robertson Davies himself. In the stairwell, there's even a bust of him with a very shiny nose, as it's said to be good luck to touch the nose as you walk by.
Aww.
I took my mom to your last Toronto live show, as she's a big paranormal buff, and she was hooked. Wait, that's so nice.
That's very sweet.
Okay, get ready. She says that if you're ever in Toronto in December, she'll happily bring you as a guest to Gaudy Night. I'm going to pee my pants.
Oh my God. We have an inn.
I really want to go, like dead serious.
We have an inn.
How fun would that be?
We have to go to Gaudy Night.
Jalay, this is Aunt Tanya, it says at the end here, who I'm assuming is your mother. Please, we really want to go. That's so nice to invite us. I don't know why I got whiny, but...
Well, I don't know either, but I understand.
I just, wow, how cool would that be? I just hope they're serious, you know? 'Cause
I
really
wonder how you dress. Like, how festive are we? Because it says gaudy, so in my mind, I'm dressed in camp.
Costume jewelry.
Dolly,
Yeah. What if we show up that way and everyone's just very professional? We look like idiots.
Everyone's in tuxedos and we're like...
Okay. She says that if you're ever in Toronto in December, she'd happily bring you as a guest to Gaudy Night. We'd both happily do a haunted walk tour with you around U of Toronto, too. The ghosts there are endless. If you're ever curious about another very haunted university in Canada, you should look into where I went for my first undergrad, the University of King's College in Halifax, which has a special place in both our hearts, Em.
Sure does.
Is one of the oldest universities in North America. It's burned down multiple times and even has a ghost cow. Oh, dear.
So instead of boo, it's moo.
Moo. Always happy to write in again with more details there. Looking forward to hopefully seeing your next Toronto show if one pops up in December. Wow. We should schedule one for December. Jalay and Tanya. Wow.
You know, we should just start like telling our Andrew. We should start telling our booking agent, our Andrew. We should start telling him that for our tour, we just want to start going to places that other people have mentioned in listener stories that they can get us ins on, because
just free stuff.
I would love to have a show at Massey College, and then we can just like go to Gaudy night after we wrap up.
That's literally like the most Em and Christine thing ever. Like, we just want to be part of, like, so we'll just schedule the work around all the cool free fun shit we want to do.
That's it. Yes. Yeah. I'm sure he'd be fine with that. So
I think it's totally normal for us to do that. So
for us only.
For us and no one else. Yeah.
I feel so bad for everyone that works for us. They just have to roll their eyes at every moment we have an opinion.
They must just have to hold their tongue all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone who wrote in your stories. If for some reason this is your first time hearing a listener's episode and you want to submit your own story, you can do it at our website, and that's why we drink.com. And wow, that's a good way to kick off July.
Yes. And if you have stories about something that happened while listening to the podcast, or, you know, like something spooky, like you were listening to, I don't know, something about UFOs and your phone shut off or whatever. I don't know. I would love to hear more stories like that, because that one was so spooky.
That's such a good topic. I don't know why we've never thought of that, but I would love to. I would love.
Part of me is like, have we? But I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah, but if there's an episode where we're somehow involved in a government conspiracy and don't know it, we would love to know. Thank you so much.
Hit us up.
And I hope everyone has a great July. We'll see you with more stories in August, and I just hope everyone is having a good summer.
Yay!
And
that's
why
we
drink.